Hi, everybody. Welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada. And you can find me online at stampingwithmelva.com. It's Tuesday today, and it's my favorite day of the week because I get to share another sketch challenge with you. So today, I really like this sketch, and I think it's going to be really pretty. I'm using the sketch butterflies, which is a bundle that is in the annual catalog, and then I'm pairing it with some of the products from the Wildly Flowering suite, the designer series paper, and in some embellishments. So this is part of what we're using. I'm partnering with Lorraine Tierney, who's a friend of mine from New Hampshire in the United States, and we're partnering together on a club called Triple Your Creativity. And so this is if you sign up, it's 3-month commitment. And so in the first month, you get the bundle, the Sketch Butterfly bundle. The second month, you get half a package of designer series paper, an embossing folder, I think. And then in the last month, you get the ribbon and embellishment, something like that. It's spread out over the entire 3 months. So if you live in Canada, you can order from me. And if you live in the United States, you can order from Lorraine. And then each month you will get a make and take kit with 4 cards in it that you can make, plus the PDF instructions. So it's a way of getting a set of products that you can use, and we give you 12 cards in the end, and you can spread that over 3 months. If you pay up front, we'll give you a bit of an added bonus with some extra product for you. So if you pay the entire 3 months at once, there's a bit of a bonus for you, but you can decide to pay over the 3 months. So if you're interested, you can reach out to me. The information is on my blog, or if you need the information for Lorraine in the United States, you reach out to me and I can share that with you. All right, on to the sketch. Now, this is the sketch, kind of cool card, I think. So you've got a card base that is either 5.5 by 8.5 or 4.25. Hey, Lynn. And then 3 pieces of cardstock designer series paper, your choice, that are 3/4 inch by 4.25. This green layer is 3.25 by 4.25, and then the white is 3 by 4. And then I've got a 2 by 2 and a 1.75 by 1.75. So those can be circles. They can be any shape you want. So of course I'm going to use the butterfly. So if you missed any of the measurements, or you want to grab a copy of this image, it will go live on Instagram and Facebook page and group in about half an hour's time. All right, so this is the Sketch Butterfly bundle. So this, in the Triple Your Creativity, this is what you will get the first month, is this stamp set and dies. I love the fact that these are all sketched. They look like line drawings. And so you have, 4 different butterflies. Of course, you have the dies to cut them. You have this set of butterflies. When you cut it out, it's all one piece. And then some individual butterflies that you can cut out as well. So that's the bundle that you get. Now, this is the paper. You get half a package of this. This is the Wildly Flowering paper. Isn't this pretty? Look at this. Oh, stunning. Oops. Wild Wheat. So these are some of the in colors, last year's in colors, some Moody Mauve, and then some, this one's I think is my favorite with this beige background. And then on the other side are some pretty colors and some plain backgrounds as well. Yeah, it's really pretty paper. It kind of reminds me of the Cheerful Daisy, or Fresh, I've forgotten the name of what the paper was. Anyway, Cheerful Daisy was the bundle. Okay, so let's get started. Find my paper. So I've decided to use thick basic white, and I've already scored. So this is 4.25 by 11, and I've already scored it at 5.5. So we'll just use our bone folder. Then I cut 3 pieces of this paper, and I should, if I've done this correctly, should be able to layer these. The problem is we're going to cover up this paper, which is really too bad, but that's okay, because I have a piece of copper clay So we're only going to see just a little bit, which is really a shame because it's absolutely gorgeous paper. But that just means I'm going to have to make a card using it on something else. All right, so I'm just going to take, oops. So how many of you have put in your order? It is free shipping day on orders of $100 or more. Great day to stock up on some of those essential supplies. And my pieces are not cut. That's interesting. I thought they were all cut pretty close to 3/4 of an inch. I thought I'd measured them, but this middle one's looking, well, the top one looks a little thinner than the other one. Oh well, I think it'll all be fine in the end. So I'm just kind of placing these equal distance apart so that they're 3 across the center like that. And then that piece, so this is the 3 3/4, or sorry, 3 1/4 by 1 1/4 in copper clay, and then get the right one. There we go. That one is 3 inches by 4 inches. So before we go too far, I'm going to stamp my sentiment, which is going to say thank you, on this piece. And I'm going to do it in copper clay. Bring a piece of scrap in because I want to, of course I don't have my labels on, so I want to make sure it's not too crooked. So it's going to go like that. And then while we have our copper clay out, get my blocks. So I'm going to do one of the big butterflies and one of this smaller size. So I'm going to do the big butterfly in Misty Moonlight. So I'm just picking out colors that are from that designer series paper. Isn't that a pretty butterfly? It kind of reminds me, if you remember, there was one we had a while back that was called Swallowtail, which was a really large kind of background stamp. And so that big butterfly reminds me of that swallowtail. Okay. All right, so you could color this. The other day I did a class and I actually colored my butterfly using Stampin' Blends, which looks really pretty. Or you can just leave them as they are and just have the line. I'm going to try and put some Wink of Stella on them. Sometimes Wink of Stella will continue, the ink will continue to move around a little bit, and so you get a little bit of color and then the shimmer. So we're going to try that. And I find that the solvent in the Wink of Stella seems to move that ink around, even though in theory that ink is pretty dry even now. If you can hear my husband talking, or people talking, we have a friend visiting who we haven't seen in probably 5 years or more. He lives in Belize now, so he's actually visiting. So it's kind of cool. All right, so let's glue this on. I love the color combination of Misty Moonlight and Copper Clay. Hi, Holly, welcome. All right, I'm going to use some dimensionals to put this on. All right, and I'm going to put one in the middle because I don't want that to sag. Oops. All right, so that can go. There we go. Now I pulled out, so before I put, and of course that is not straight at all. Let's try and get that off of there. There we go. Let's just kind of get that straighter than it is. Gosh. Okay, so this is the jute. This is the in color 2024, 2023, 2025 in color jute. And I find it really thick. So I like to deconstruct my this jute and just kind of get my piercing tool from my take your pick and to the end. We'll see if I can do it. Okay, sometimes you have to choose the right end, so sometimes I have to kind of try both ends to see. And there are 3 strands, and what I'm trying to do is separate this into the individual strands. There we go. And sometimes it works better than others. Today is not one of those days. So let's try this again. I'm probably only going to use 2 pieces of two of the strands anyway. If you keep it straight, it seems to, there we go. And I like how it kind of curls. It's like when you put your hair, when I used to have longer hair, and put it in braids. It gives that kind of crimped feel. So I'm going to take and wrap this around my hand like that. It does kind of shed when you do this. So I'm just going to take and put that on that. And we can spread it apart once we kind of get it on. There we go. Okay, now I was talking about, so my butterflies are going to kind of go on like that. So I was talking about using Wink of Stella, and we'll see if this works. So I'm just going to take, oh, it does, see? I don't know if you can see that. So even though my ink is really dry, like it's dry to the touch, whatever this solvent is in the Wink of Stella, it will move the ink around. And I haven't even kind of pressed it to get any more Wink of Stella out. And so it's a really fun way to get some color into your image with, oh, and now I've got, oh, not too bad. Now I am going to press. Now, when you press the Wink of Stella, you want to make sure that you press it onto a scrap, because you don't want that Wink of Stella to, oops, leak. I've got a lot, so we'll try and spread it out. And some inks will kind of spread, so I'm not getting a lot of color with the Misty Moonlight, but that's okay. Getting a little bit. If you go over areas that are a little bit more, little darker, then you will get a little bit more color. So I definitely have some lovely shimmer to my butterfly, but I don't have a lot of blue. But you can definitely see, oh, maybe, there we go, a little bit of the shimmer. All right, so I'm going to use my dimensionals. And I like to just put 1 or 2 dimensionals, depending on the size of the butterfly, in the middle of where the body would be. And then you can kind of just fold up the wings a little bit, so it gives it a 3-dimensional look to it. And I'm going to just kind of overlap that like that. And then the last thing for the front of the card is I'm going to use, get them out. These are the textured dots, and you probably can't, you can kind of just see the little dots on them. So not only are they dot circles, they're little dots on the top of these embellishments, and so they're called textured dots, and they coordinate with that wildly flowering suite of products. All right, now we need something, of course, on the inside of the card. So let's take, I've got Misty Moonlight, and it was the big butterfly that I did in Misty Moonlight. So I'm just going to stamp part of the butterfly. And before I get Misty Moonlight, thanks Lynn, all over my card, let's clean off my glass mat. All right, there we go. All right, so there, I kind of like this, kind of a pretty card. I probably could have put that butterfly over a little bit. I don't know if I can get him off now because he's kind of off the card. There we go. There we go. Shift him over a little bit. And so now it looks like we've got butterflies kind of flying off our page, which is kind of cool. All right. Oh, I did get a bit of Wink of Stella on my card, but that's okay. Pretty card, I think. Bit of a clean and simple look to it, even though it's not clean and simple. And then the butterfly on the inside. So I stayed pretty true to my sketch with those two butterflies replacing the circles. So lots of things you can do, and when you see a shape on my sketches, it doesn't mean you have to use that shape. Typically, I use circles for a shape, so you could use circles, and I did intentionally put them the size of punches that we have, but you can replace them with all sorts of shapes that you might have either as punches or die cuts. Okay, so that sketch will go live in about 15 minutes time if you missed any of the measurements or you want to grab it. Don't forget, if you are part of my Facebook group, share your projects. I love to see what you're working on. At the end of May, I will send out some happy mails to some people that have shared. And I am caught up now. I did a whole bunch of share happy mail a couple of weeks ago. So I finally caught up after getting a little bit behind. All right, don't forget free shipping today. It's a great day to, whether you need some basics, essentials, cardstock, embellishments, ribbon. I guess those aren't basic, but in my mind, they're basic. Adhesives, any of those kinds of things, a great day. Any orders in Canada over $100. And you will save on shipping. So that's 11% on orders of $100. So it's a great day to pick up some embellishments or essentials, or it's a great day to add one of those bundles on our suites that you've been have had on your wish list. All right, everybody, thanks for joining me today. Till now tomorrow, come join me and I will share a technique with you at 2 o'clock Pacific. Hope you have a great day. Happy stamping. Bye.